Assisted suicide. Should assisted should people be assisted in suicide? In my opinion, yes and no. First of all, let's tell some stories. There are like two people called. There's one person called Tony Nicholson who is a healthy middle-aged Englishman, and he was having an awesome life until someday something happened, and he was got a stroke, and then he got paralyzed from the neck down. He can't do his physical activities like wearing your gloves, eating and drinking water, even talking was a little bit difficult to do. In fact, the only way he could communicate with his friends and family was with nodding and hand gestures and eye gestures. This was called lock-in syndrome, and Tony Nicholson actually says that he wished his doctors did not save his life. And there's this other guy named Vincent Humbert, who is a 22-year-old man, a Frenchman, who is injured severely and wants to die in a car. Well, he didn't die in the car accident, but he wanted to die because of the car accident. This results in him losing his vision and his hearing and his ability to speak, and he was paralyzed from the neck down. Yeah. And he wanted to be assisted in suicide, but the French government was like, no. The English government, too, for Tony, was like, no. Well, Vincent Humbert's mother, a woman named Mary, helped into suicide and giving him a deadly dose of a medication. She was arrested and then released later. I mean, it's her son's wishes. She would obviously do what her son wanted to do. It's your right, and it's a right that you should use. It's like the Constitution, your right to live, your right to vote, and other rights that you will have too. Your freedom of speech, all those rights. This one is just one of your rights, and it should be part of the Constitution. At least it's not part of it yet, I guess. Some people actually want to die not because that they wanted to actually die in the first place, but because they just want to relieve from their suffering. Some people often confuse suicide and physician-assaulted death. Well, here's the thing. For suicidal people actually do not want to die. They want to end the pain of the living. However, the PAD or physician-assisted death is when people seeking PAD, they want to hasten death. They want the suffering and dying to end. Another thing, they often act with impulsive violence, and it's usually carried out alone, while PADs are often planned, peaceful, and carried out in the presence of loved ones. In suicide, however, it leaves loved ones with devastating grief and a legacy of pain. There's so much that could have happened. While in PAD or physician-assisted death, which is basically like assisted suicide, it's a deliberate process that includes everyone. The family, the friends, I don't know, your spouse. Where did I get that word? Suicides happen more often than PAD. Turns out far more people die by suicide than by PAD, even when PAD was legalized. Suicide was actually decriminalized in Canada in 1972. It's so much that happened. PADs are relatively infrequent. In the Washington state, the ratio of 7 suicides to 1 PAD as is represented in these people charts. And Canadian legislation as happened, well, at least back then it was expected in June 2016. I'm pretty sure it's right in here now. I'll have to Google that up later. Yep, they did. So much has happened since that time that not a lot of suicides have happened. It's assisted suicide here. It's your right and it's your choice. One reason why you would do suicide is because this way people will die and relieve their suffering. And another way that people want to die and do these PADs are that they want to end their suffering. It's a good way to end the suffering to everyone, not just you, but also to your people who are trying to take care of you. They're wasting their resources and sources to just save your life. But then again, people have the right to die, but they also have the right to life. Everyone should cherish their lives, and everyone should die naturally. So, I want to ask you, what do you think? Answer down in the comments below.